feel like this is an exciting time to be a Broncos fan. This is the opposite of the Chargers because they have $41.7 million in cap space, which is still a lot of money to play with. Free agents: DJ Jones, Cody Barton, Javonte Williams, Jaquan McMillan. I'm sorry. DJ Jones, really good run defender. Cody Barton, Javonte, you could let them walk. Jaquan McMillan, probably want to bring him back. And looking at their team needs, it's really just three glaring ones. I look at running back, I look at tight end, I look at linebacker. Even the receivers, I think as long as they bring in a blue chip difference maker at tight end, which could be Warren if he falls or Loveland if he's there at pick number 20, could be the difference. But they have a group of young receivers with Marvin Mims and Troy Franklin that I think like you can talk yourself into waiting a year before like you really venture out and make like a splash move. But the Broncos pretty much have cap space, and a lot of their offensive line is really good. Their quarterback played well, and the defensive line was one of the best ones, and their secondary is pretty much set. So there's only like a couple moves that they need to make around the edges to drastically improve their roster. And you look at the linebacker position in free agency: Zach Bond, Dre Greenlaw, Bobby Wagner, Levante David, Nick Bolton, Ernest Jones, Robert Spillane. There's a lot of linebackers to choose from to go and fill in that need to the point that you don't have to draft it if you are the Broncos. You could get in free agency.
And I saw that Zach Bond's contract is not going to be crazy at all. $11 million.
That's why he's staying, bro.
Hey, you're scared if you're one of your wonder. You don't want to risk that.
But that is what gets me going. If I'm the Broncos,
Brother,
I don't give a fuck.
Brother.
Throw him the bag.
He's not going to Denver.
You know what's going to be nuts, though? We're getting a great
Bobby
middle
Wagner.
linebacker this season. I don't know about Bobby,
I would love
truthfully.
Levante David, I think. Levante David would bring a veteran presence to that team.
I don't hate that. I also would not be mad at Nick Bolton for the fact that we want to compete with the Chiefs. We get a guy that was in their locker room. We get some info from him. Obviously, he's still a really solid player in his own right. Nick Bolton, I really would be. It smells great.
Yeah, Jess is making steak, baked potato, and some asparagus.
What type of steak?
I don't know, to be honest.
Well done. But when you oh my God, I just got another whiff. But the Broncos, you hit it right on the nail. But I also think safety we need to add into that conversation. I think PJ Locke should be in conversation for one of our cut candidates. I saw that John Franklin Myers was a cut candidate.
Absolutely
I think that's
not.
insane. He needs to be a part of this team next season. DJ Jones, that's going to hurt. Obviously, I think that he means a lot for our run game too, but I could see us moving off or at least finding another avenue there. But I think that it's imperative that we get skill position players. We need, at pick 20, I was talking to you guys before the show started. There's three guys that I run to the podium if they're there at pick 20. It's Tyler, it's Genty, and I think Ted's gone in top 10, Luther Burden. If one of those three guys are there at pick 20, I run to the podium and I hand in my ticket. We need to surround Bo Nix with talent. We saw what he was able to do his rookie season, second most touchdowns by a rookie quarterback. And he did that with Cortland Sutton. He did that with Marvin Mims. He did that for Josh Reynolds for a short period of time. Rookie Troy Franklin, no tight end, amazing offensive line. But I think we need to see what he's really made of when we put legitimate weapons around him and try and maximize this window of opportunity. While next year our cap's going to be a lot more than it was this year and the year after that as well. Sean Payton has put this team, and George Patton, of course, in a great position to succeed for the future. And while we have Bo Nix on this rookie contract, we need to do everything we can to surround him with talent. I think the defense is close. I think I would not say no to another defensive lineman either. If we can go out there and get an impact player, I'm all for it as well. If that's where we want to spend our money, I would not say no. What are we looking at over there, Riv?
You going? No, I just thought. Did John pick Nipsey Hussle or did you?
No, he did that.
Thinking about the most random things 3.5 hours in.
Oh, when
a minute
right at the
ago.
beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was looking at.
So,
no shout
what
out.
do you think is the biggest need right now for the Broncos?
By far and away, it's linebacker.
But on offense, tight end, running back, or receiver? Because I think if you add an elite running back to this offensive line,
especially with Sean Payton's offense,
yeah.
If we get Genty, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
yards.
He's offensive rookie of the year.
I would trade
I'm
up.
stamping it.
I would trade up for Genty. Like, he's that good.
I'm ready for it too.
I would also love Henderson, man. Where he could come bring out the backfield too as a receiver would be special.
Wouldn't mind Hampton, man.
Trayvon gets me going so much because he's gonna be one of the best day 2 picks.
Or Cam Scatterbull.
I wouldn't say no to that
I love
either.
Cam Scatterbo.
He's good.
There's a lot of good running
He's
backs.
very strong, but I think Trayvon has everything I want.
Yeah.
Good receiving back, really strong rusher, can rush in between the tackles, rush
Ollie
outside
Gordon,
the
man.
tackles.
I saw your tweet about that.
But I think
Ollie
the
Gordon,
biggest
man.
need on offense, no doubt, is running back. Javonte Williams getting injured kind of ruined the vision. It sucks. It's heartbreaking. We know what he could have been. It was a small glimpse of what it was. He lost it when he got injured. It's sad. But if we can go out there and get a running back, which I know we're going to get a running back this draft class, but if we can get Genty, this offense can get crazy because then we can go and we can spend money to either maybe we go and we trade for a Deebo Samuel. Maybe we go and we really are the favorites to land T. Higgins. If that's not the case, maybe we go and we bring in a Chris Godwin. Although is T. Higgins even a possibility? Cooper Kupp's another one. At the absolute worst case scenario, Amari Cooper. Like something, just a veteran presence next to Cortland Sutton. I just need weapons next to my GOAT. And last thing I'll say, I think that if I had to draw up like this picture perfect offseason for the Denver Broncos, I think it starts with linebacker, either Zach Bond, Nick Bolton, Levante David. One of those three.
No Dre Greenlaw.
Dre Greenlaw would be great too, no doubt. I apologize for forgetting him. I think Dre Greenlaw, especially because he wants to be the lead linebacker, I think that would be a top, no doubt. I mean, any of those linebackers I'm in on. We get one of those 4 linebackers. At tight end, we bring in Mark Andrews if he is cut by the Baltimore Ravens. A veteran, obviously a great receiving option there too. Can be a safety blanket for Bo Nix. That'll be excellent for us. We still draft a tight end, whether that is Oronde Gradson. I want us to make sure that we're using a pick on a tight end. With that first pick, Luther Burden or Genty. That's best case scenario for us. I think we address our issues. We get a legit skill position player in Genty. We get a legit tight end option in Mark Andrews. We get a legit linebacker in one of the 4 of Zach Bond, Dre Greenlaw, Nick Bolton, and Levante David. We can be a legitimate force next season with that offseason.
Yeah, they're in position to make a splash, and they have more pieces in place than the Chargers to fill out their roster. They're in for a good offseason. I think it's going to be good. I still have a lot of stock in Marvin Mims Jr. I think way he played in the second half of the season gave me some optimism that he could be one of the 3 featured receivers and a steady option, one that you feel very comfortable with. And, yeah, just bringing in a veteran, adding tight end, adding running back, I think those are the 2 biggest things. And, I mean, hey, you're in luck. I mean, this draft, the 2 strongest positions on offense are running back and tight end. Wide receiver actually is like the weakest of those 3.
It is.
So, like, this is the perfect draft to get a tight end, to get a running back. It doesn't even have to be Ashton. It could be Omari and Hampton in the second round, Travion Henderson in the second round.
That's why I say if Luther Burden's there at pick 20, you're getting the second best wide receiver option at pick 20. To me, that's a win.
Yeah, there's just so many ways, and this draft fits exactly what the Broncos do need on their team.
Yeah, I think for me personally, I think Denver should go all in this summer.
No doubt.
I think offseason, go all in. Listen, you had a great year last year, exceeded a shit ton of expectations. Why not continue to exceed expectations? You have a quarterback in Bo Nix who has built the foundation for you. Your offensive line is sturdy as hell. You need a running back. You need another wide receiver. You do still have Cortland Sutton. You have some guys out there. I think Luther Burden is the pick. I don't think Gianti. I think he's really good. Let me start by saying
if Genty and Burden are there,
I go Burden.
Okay.
Because I think you can still find somebody at the running back spot. I think running back is deeper than wide receiver.
If that's what it comes down to on draft day, I'm gonna be sick.
Yeah, I think
because I'm be like, I don't know what I want really. Because Genty is amazing.
He's just generational.
He's OD, but I think Luther is pretty good too.
Yeah,
me too.
Defensively, I do think you guys are like maybe a move away from being a real stout elite, like best in the league type vibe. Which could be safety or linebacker.
Could be a Myles Garrett.
You guys really, honestly, call for Myles Garrett. Call for Max Crosby. Like, go all in this summer.
Unrealistic, sadly, but I would love that.
Call for whoever else is available. Figure out what's going on. Break the bank. I think you guys are... You can't be safe in this situation, especially with the team you have.
You're right.
A team that's pretty established on the offensive line in Sean Payton and the whole head coaching staff. For me, Denver has to go on. I wouldn't be scared this offseason. I wouldn't be hesitant, make these moves because the Chiefs just got their ass whipped in the Super Bowl. And you watch their roster, they're not at their best. They're still the best in the AFC, but they're vulnerable. You're looking at the Chargers. They have a lot of holes to fill. Cincinnati still has to figure out that defense. Buffalo, they're not going to improve too much from their roster last year. Baltimore is going to be Baltimore. You have an opportunity here to be one of the best teams in the AFC if you have a nice offseason. So if I'm Denver, I'm all in.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think Washington's in a similar situation too, when you have a season like this where your expectations were to win like 5 games, right? And then your quarterback pops, your head coach, you're different. But Sean Payton, we know how great of a coach he is to have the year he had and put a system around Bo Nix, because especially early in the year where shit wasn't working out, right? The offense was very inconsistent. You had some great games like the Bucks, and then you had some really ugly games mixed in there. But you end the season, you feel great about your head coach, which I think you did regardless. You feel great about your quarterback, and you feel great about the defense. I know Sean Payton didn't say it. I think a receiver is a necessity here.
I agree.
Because you are one Cortland Sutton injury away from, oh shit, we are in trouble, right? Because I'm with you, Joel. I like Marvin Mims. I like Troy Franklin. But all of a sudden, they have to be plugged into the wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 role. It gets scary. So I do think bringing in at least a veteran wide receiver, T. Higgins is, the number 1 target for everybody across the league, so we'll see what ends up happening there. But bringing in some sort of reliable number 2 to be opposite of Cortland Sutton, right? If you want to go in the draft, if you want to go in free agency, I think you should do both, right? Because what we've seen from Marvin Mims and Troy Franklin, and they're young players, but they've been more or less gadget players so far, right? Sean Payton definitely has packages for them, a lot in the screen game, shots downfield, where he wants to get the ball in their hands because they could be so explosive with it. But he has not trusted them yet to be full-time wide receivers. And maybe going into, was it year 3 for Mims and year 2 for Franklin, maybe they get more of that responsibility, and the upside is there for them just because athletically they're so gifted. But to have a reliable number 2 that you trust alongside Cortland Sutton, but like you guys have mentioned already, this is the draft class to do it. I said it before, Travion Henderson would be my number 1 option for you, assuming Genti's not there, of course, because what he brings as a dual back, it's a lot of Alvin Kamara-esque, right? And we know what Sean Payton did there in New Orleans, how explosive he could be out of the backfield at Kamara's prime. Henderson has all of that written all over him. So to bring that element to your offense, and you have the cap space to do it, to not only go into free agency, but the trade market, like you were saying, for if you can make an explosive or a superstar move on either side of the ball, I would go out and do it.
It's unbelievable that the Broncos have turned it around the way that they have.
I've been here.
You have.
Been here,
You have been here. These other guys, I can't say the same.